All right, good day, good day. So, look, if you're working on this algebra packet, which is scheduled or is dated April 27th through May 15th, that's the MPS Algebra 1. Okay, so week 1, x intercepts and 0. So this simply says that we're going to work on where the x intercept comes into play, okay? All right, so let's go to page 1. Now, this might seem a little challenging because in Algebra 1, Year 1, we didn't get a chance to do this. So this is going to be kind of brand new for a lot of our students. And so we understand that it's going to be kind of brand new for you. Trust me, it's brand new. All right. So what point is this? What point is this? You know, now look at that. What point is that? Well, it's -3 and it's 4. So, if I were writing it, because remember it's x, comma, y, that would be -3, 4. Now, in this equation here, it's x squared plus x minus 2 equals 0. If, remember, this is the x number here, all right? So if we put -3 wherever you see an x, then this equation would happen. So once again, we went to the point, and that says -3, 4. So we know that the x is -3, right? So -3 squared, which would be what? 3 times, it'd be 9, because a negative times a negative is a positive. So -3 times -3, which is -3 squared. So that's 9 plus -3. All right, so that's 9 plus -3, which is bring you 6. And 6 minus 2 equals 4. So your y is 4. And here's your y. All right, so as you see here, we have our x and we have our y. So that's why we have the x here and we have the y here. The x goes right here and the y goes right here, okay? So what's saying is we're going to plug these numbers into x, and this is going to tell you what the y is. All right, so the first one is -3, 4. That's -3, 4, that's right there. -2, 0. So we go to -2, and it's on the 0 line, so that's -2, 0 right here. This one is -1, -2, so I'm going to go to -1. You start off at 0. Here's -1, and here's -2. Okay. And what I did, let me show you what I did, just to be sure. I start at 0 whenever I get the coordinates. These, the x and the y, these are coordinates. Remember? X, comma, y. These are coordinates. Okay? So, in this case, -1, -2. So I'm start here at 0. I go down -1, and now I'm going down to -2. And that's why that dot populates. This is 0, -2. So I'm going to stay here at 0, and I'm going to drop down to 2. That's where that is. That is 1, 0. So I move over from 0 to 1, and I'm not moving up and down. I'm staying at 0. And this is 2, 4. So starting at 0, I go up 2. That says 2, 4. So I went over 2. I'm sorry, yeah, because x is left or right, and y is up or down. So I went over 2. Here's 2, and I went up 4. So that's how we plotted all of these points. So rewrite the quadratic equation. This is the quadratic equation. That's the quadratic equation. All right. And it says list the y-intercepts seen on the graph. Okay. So let's do this. Let's do number 1. X squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. All right, so we know that negative 3, let's type this in. So that's going to be x equals whatever they tell us right here, whatever they tell us. So in this case, x equals negative 3, right? So that's going to be x equals negative 3. So as we work through this problem, we can say, okay, so x squared, that's not going to come out right well when I'm typing it. So what I'm going to do is erase that. And I'll go ahead and write it. It might come out a little sloppier, but at least you'll get a chance to see what I'm doing. Okay, so we know that in this case, x is negative 3. So we're using this x squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. So x squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. Now, what are we trying to find out? We're trying to find out what y is on these cases. In these cases, we're going to try to find what y is. So if x is negative 3, so that's negative 3 squared. We'll put that in the parentheses. Plus negative 3 minus 6 equals 0. Okay, Gucci. All right, so in our handy dandy calculator, we can do negative 3 squared, 9, okay? So since we know it's 9, I can go back, and now I can say 9 plus negative 3 minus 6 equals 0. Okay, so that's a plus sign. Okay. All right, so I'm going to use my calculator. So we have 9 plus negative 3. That's going to give me 6. All right, so now I have 6 minus 6 equals 0. Okay. Good, good, good. So that's correct. So this 0 here in this quadratic equation, this is what the y is going to be. So in this case, 0, or the y, is 0. Okay, and now what we're going to do is the same process to each one of these problems. All right, so now we have, I'll write it again. X squared, I probably shouldn't have erased that part, plus x minus 6. And that's when I'm just going to say, instead of saying equals 0, I'm going to say equals y. All right, because we're trying to figure out what y is. So if negative 2 is x, that's going to be negative 2 squared plus negative 2 minus 6. Okay, negative 2 squared is going to give us 4. Negative 2 times negative 2 is going to give us 4. All right, 4 plus negative 2 minus 6. All right, so let's use our handy dandy calculator. All right, so 4 plus negative 2 minus 6, negative 4. So now we know that our y is negative 4. Our y is negative 4. Negative 4 equals y. So here we're going to put negative 4. That didn't come out right. Negative 4. Yeah, that didn't come out right. Okay, so now what we can do is x is going to be negative 3, y is going to be 0. So I started at 0, negative 3, and our first point will be here. Our second point is negative 2, negative 4. So starting at 0, we're going to go to the negative 2, and then we're going to go to negative 4. So our next one is going to be here. And we're going to keep doing this, plugging in until we solve all of the problems. So we're going to plug in until we solve all of the problems. So you can take it from here. If you need any help, hey, I'll be back here in my garage and I'll do another video, or I can do a Zoom meeting with you. Okay, so we'll see you soon.